Hi friends, my name is Bhavya Mangla. I'm again back with a very interesting topic from my book, The Power of Self-Talk. And today I'm going to talk about how we are judgmental and what we can do to make ourselves better from it. And by the time this video will end, you will understand what exactly is the meaning of being judgmental, how it is impacting our life, and what we can do so that we can be non-judgmental about different things in our life. Let me share a very interesting story. This story is of a child who was 6 years old, and there was a class which was going on of mathematics. The teacher asked a very simple question to the child, that if I give you two mangoes and then two more mangoes, how many mangoes you will have? The child very politely answered, I will have five. The teacher thought, I asked a very simple question. Let me repeat again. He asked like the same question. I give you two mangoes, then two more mangoes. How many mangoes you have? The child again replied the same, five. Now the teacher got a bit irritated, but the teacher knew that this boy liked strawberries very much. So this time the teacher said that, okay, I'll give you two strawberries and then two more strawberries. How many strawberries you will have? The child very politely said, four. Now the teacher was happy. He said that, okay, now the child is understanding about the mathematics part. Now he again repeated the same question. Okay, I'll give you two mangoes, then I'll give you two more mangoes. How many mangoes you will have? The child again repeated, I will have five. Now the teacher got very angry and very infuriated. He said, why don't you understand? It's a very simple thing. When I gave the example of strawberry, you said four. But when I gave the example of mangoes, you are saying five. Why don't you understand? Well, the teacher, seeing the teacher very angry, now the boy understood and he very politely picked one mango from his bag and said that, sir, when you give me four, one mango is in my bag, so it will be five and not four. Well, there was a pin drop silence in the room. The teacher also realized that from his perspective, what he was saying was right, but from the child's perspective, what he was saying was also right. So both were right from their perspective. The only thing was the teacher was thinking that what he is thinking is right, but from the child perspective, he was also thinking that why teacher is that angry with me and why the teacher is not understanding my perspective. And I think this is what exactly happens in our day-to-day life. Well, someone has very rightly said that judging a person does not define who they are, it defines who you are. In our day to day life, when we talk about being judgmental, from the very early childhood, we are being told to judge the things, which is a very good thing. We should know what is right, what is wrong, what is ethical, what is not ethical, what we should do, what we should not do. So we learn all that. But what is happening is that as we grew up, apart from that, from our surroundings, from the teachers, parents, neighbors, we also learn many new things, which is more about thinking that, okay, this thing should be done this way, this thing should be done this way. So, for example, we have that kind of tendency that, well, the girls are always emotional, the boys never cry, and maybe something like maybe different things. Now, when we think like that, we don't realize that when we are having this kind of mentality, it is not with any logic, but just because we learn something from the environment, or maybe because everyone is doing it, we also think that, okay, things happen this way. But actually, that is not the truth. Well, someone has very rightly said in this particular thing that we judge ourselves by our intentions and others by their behavior. One very interesting thing which happens in this particular state is that it is not only that we are judgmental about other people, but we are also judgmental about ourselves. Maybe in the beginning of our life, we think that we can do anything and everything, but as we grew up, we start feeling that no, I'm not good in this, I am good in this, I can do this thing very easily, but this thing is very difficult for me. Something like that. If you say, give an example that if someone is appreciating, we may be feeling very good, But if someone is criticizing, we automatically feel very down. Why it happens? Because we become judgmental about ourselves. Rather than seeing the clear picture, the overall picture, when someone says something, we start behaving exactly like that, and our perceptions creates this judgmental fear. Well, someone has very rightly said that people who matter work, judge, and people who judge don't matter. So that brings a very interesting question at this particular time. So why we are feeling judgmental and what we can do so that we can get away from that. So it's very important to understand that in general, when we become judgmental, it's more because of the complexities that we are having internally. It's more because we feel that when we think about a particular thing in a certain way, because everyone is thinking in that way, so it is means we are a part of the majority. So we feel that we are in a safe zone, but actually it's not like that. Someone has very rightly said that if I stop judging other people, I free myself from being judged and I can dance. So it's very important to see that what we can do so that we can avoid doing the nitpicking. Carl Jung has said a very important thing that thinking is difficult. That's why most people judge. Now, what is happening is that when we have to use our cognitive thinking, so it means we have to push ourselves, we have to challenge ourselves that what is right and what is wrong. But then it's always a problem. So we always find an easy way out, and we think that okay, since everyone is saying this thing is bad, so it means this is bad, and since everyone is saying this thing is good, let's assume that this thing is good. But we don't realize that why we have become judgmental. And in general, it is generally being said that we become judgmental because of many reasons, like certain thing which happens in our childhood. Maybe there may be a certain kind of feeling of inadequacy, maybe a jealousy, bias, insecurity. These can be some of the reasons why it happens. Someone has rightly said that when you judge others, you do not define them, you define yourself at that time. So that becomes a very interesting question at this time, that what can be done so that we becomes non-judgmental. Even if you look into our mythology, you will find that it is said that in Mahabharata, Lord Krishna forgave Shishupal 100 times for all his sins. That, well, till that time I will forgive you, but after that I will kill you. So that also shows that we should have that kind of attitude to forgive the people. Only then we can have that attitude of being non-judgmental. Someone has very rightly said that never judge people by their past. People learn, people change, and people move on. So it's very important that we need to see that whenever we are becoming non-judgmental, then life becomes a little bit sorted. For example, if someone makes a remark about you and it's something you also judge about yourself, there is a high possibility that you will get hurt. But on the other hand, if someone says something to you and you are not judgmental about yourself, you will not feel bad. Say, for example, your height is short, and someone says that your height is very short. Now, if you are judgmental about yourself, you will certainly feel bad about that. But if you have accepted it as a part of your life that yes, my height is less, then you will not mind anything, and you may think about some great people who have achieved very high things in life, even though their height was less, like Charlie Chaplin, Mahatma Gandhi, Yuri Gagarin, Picasso, Isaac Newton, and there are many, many more people in that. So, just to make sure that we become non judgmental, one very important thing that we need to inculcate in our life is self awareness. By having self awareness, we understand that how our mind is working, where it is going, and how to control it back so that we can see the things from the right perspective. Then another important thing is to slow our speed of mind, the number of thoughts that are coming in our mind, because once it is less, then it gives an opportunity to us to see the things from the right perspective. And generally, when we do meditation, that brings a lot of change in ourselves, because that gives peace of mind, that helps us to see the things clearly, and it helps to make us non-judgmental as much as possible. Well, someone has very, very rightly said that we have to be kind, for everyone you meet is fighting a battle you know nothing about. Well, I am challenging myself every day and trying to be non judgmental. Sometimes I fail, sometimes I pass, but I am challenging myself. What you are doing? I'm looking for your feedback. Thank you.